All right, I'm recording now. Because, I mean, this is so weird and informal. I can't even, this is, welcome to the Beats and Beatdowns podcast, the podcast show where a rock star and a rock radio DJ talk fight sports and rock news over the interwebs using Zoom.
Oh, yeah. We're doing the Zoom thing. I even put my camera on for you so I can make it feel more normal.
Oh, I guess I'll turn my camera on too.
Oh, yeah? Oh, look at you. Man, your head looks way bigger on camera.
Yeah, I got a big old watermelon ass head. Anyway, since we can't do this like the way we're used to, I'm just gonna be like, let's get right to it.
Why are we doing it like this, Span?
We'll get to that. First of all, I want to talk about how Neil from Royal Bliss was wearing your band shirt on stage tonight.
I have no idea. I don't know where he got that shirt, but maybe we played with them somewhere, but I'm always so busy like talking to people that I have no idea. But that was super crazy. I had a buddy of mine send me a message on Facebook. He's like, Royal Bliss repping HEARTSICK. And I was like, what? And I looked and I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. So yeah, it was pretty awesome that he like wore it. I mean, I don't know the guy. Like, I don't know that band. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I know all of their songs. Those dudes are our buddies. I think we met once at a show. Really nice guys. I remember that. Fucking great band live, 100%. Like, but I don't have like a recollection of like when he bought that shirt, because I don't do our merch now anymore. We have a merch person, thankfully. So I wasn't at the table when it was being done. I was probably, I don't know, frolicking somewhere, talking to somebody. And yeah, so it's really cool when something like that happens, and it's literally not because like they're your friend or like you know them. It's just because like they generally must like the shirt. Do they like the band? I have no idea, but do they like the shirt? That's cool. And you know what? The shirt like has the name of the band on it. It'll make people go, oh, like what is that? Or like people start reaching out. They're like, yo, I'm at the Royal Bliss show, Fozzy show, and so is wearing a shirt on stage. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking sick. Like, that's super cool, So it definitely wasn't planned. Like, none of us know those dudes like on that level. And I thought it was, at first I thought it was Blacktop Mojo, because we know those guys. Like, we know some of those guys, not like super well, but we built a rapport with them at a People Festival, and they're super cool guys. So I just thought it was one of them, but then they said Royal Bliss. And then I like looked up the band and I was like, oh, I remember watching these guys somewhere. I don't remember where. And then I was like, are you sure it's Royal Bliss or Royal Blood? Because there's like 8,000 Royals right now. And I was just like, I have no fucking clue. And he was like, no, Royal Bliss. And I was like, oh, that's super rad. So yeah, like just random thing that happened today.
Yeah. It's just another nice thing that I think it's just another thing, part of HEARTSICK's banner 2021, despite the pandemic and the ability to tour, y'all are still out here like somehow catching hold. Like it, and you never know what's gonna do it, right? Like, never tell that story about Tim Wilson from the Bob and Tom show?
No, but tell it while I stare at your beautiful shiny head. It's just like glistening right now.
This is just my natural oeuvre.
This is fun. I like doing this too. I can't wait to do this. Like, I'm gonna pester you to do this every fucking day. Because I'll have nothing better to do. I'll just be like, yo, let's podcast like right now. I got nothing to do.
Okay, that might just happen because I'm just gonna upload them. I'm just gonna screw it. Just upload them as is. But there's Tim Wilson from the Bob and Tom show. He's passed away like 5 years ago. But he was a brilliant comedian and he wrote songs and he played guitar.
Oh, wasn't
And
that the guy that had that like French toast song?
he may have, I don't know. Like, I don't remember all his songs. Just of all the guys that made songs, he was my favorite by far on the Bob and Tom show.
I'm pretty
But,
sure that I know who it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep going.
but he had a bit. Well, not a bit, but he was in the middle of a bit. He was talking about Larry the Cable Guy. And he's like, I spent 10, 15 years writing songs that are original and cracking people the hell up from one side of the country to the other. But you give the sleeveless hillbilly the money, huh? Like, that's the one. The guy who calls himself Cable Guy, that's the one you give the money. Not the guy who plays guitar, a skill, and tells jokes with that guitar that crack people the hell up. The guy who says get her done, that's the one. That's who you give the money. And that cracked me up from Tim Wilson. So it's funny. You never know when you get your slide out there, but like it seems like you're getting your slide, and you've had to watch so many other people who are absolute nonsense get more slide than you in a variety of situations, and here you are, like Neil from Royal Bliss is wearing your shirt, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's super cool, man. I think any band that's in the limelight like that on bigger tours like that, showing any kind of love, whether they know the band or not. Like, I'm not gonna sit, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and assume the dude knows my band. Like, and you know, a lot of the times we'll play shows and people will just buy merch from us because you know, I feel very confident in saying that we have some pretty fucking rad merch. We really do. Like, we have some really rad merch. It's something that I pride myself in a lot for us. And so it's not uncommon for people in bands that either we're playing with that maybe like upper tier bands, but not like super huge bands, or you know, locals as well, just coming to our merch table and like buying a shirt. And usually they're always like, oh, how much for a shirt? And if I know they're in a band, I just sell them for what we pay to get them printed, you know, because I don't, you know, I know band dudes don't have a lot of money in the first place. It's tough out there. So I, like I said, I mean, I don't know that the guy knows or likes the band in any form or way. He may very well know some songs, but at the end of the day, someone like that, that's on a higher tier and a higher profile, promoting your stuff, that's fucking cool. That's super cool. That's like, that's a dream come true. I mean, you know, for me, it's one of those things. It's like, shit, dude, like imagine waking up in the morning and like fucking Trent Reznor's wearing a HEARTSICK shirt. I'd freak out, you know, like it'd just be like, what the fuck is happening? Or like Chino Moreno, I'd fucking call 7 agents and try and get a blowjob in for him real quick. But
Whatever. You goon.
hey, did you know Hamoud is spelled Hamoud backwards?
I can't believe you did this stuff into my phone, fool. I was like, did you really hit me with that? Like in my texts, this is what I have to deal with at night just before I go to sleep.
I very much did because it's very funny and I'm funny. I don't care what anybody says. I am funny.
Anyway, speaking of funny, the funny reason why we're not in the same room is something we should probably discuss. And that's because you got bronchitis, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, real fun, super fun, great times.
Yeah, I mean, look, knowing it's not something that's gonna kill you, given that we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, like I think I can giggle because I know it sucked, but it wasn't death. It's a slow, agonizing ventilator death.
No, yeah. I mean, it like I've had bronchitis before. I pretty much get bronchitis like every year since I've lived in Michigan because when I was a kid, I had a pneumonia. And once you have pneumonia, or once you catch pneumonia, you ever catch pneumonia, you're really susceptible to like, you know, upper respiratory infections and stuff. So
I
here
didn't
I
know that. Wow.
yeah, because your your lungs take a hit, like your lungs take a pretty big hit, and depending on the kind of pneumonia you have, It could be, 3 weeks before you get better. It could be 4 months before you get better. So it just really depends. But I had a walking pneumonia as a kid. And ever since then, my lungs have been pretty weak, but not in Florida. So in dry and hot, humid climates, I don't have like the stuffy nose. You don't hear me going all day long. I don't really get sick. I don't ever really get sick. But the moment you put me like in like cold climates, it's just a shock to the system. So usually like September, October, even closer to November, here, as you know, the weather starts to fluctuate. It's like September, it'll be like 75 degrees in the afternoon, maybe 80. And then at night, it's like 53, 65. And it starts to go down like that. So my body is just like, yeah, we're not playing this, son. We ain't doing this right now. So it's like, we're going to go ahead and just quit. And then I get sick, But I got to give it up to the big God who gave me bronchitis, because it saved me from having to go to work for the next 2 weeks. I get to end my week working from home, and I'm all about that.
And you did it before you went on tour, so it didn't have to mess with your tour.
Exactly.
Like the timing couldn't be any more fortuitous.
Exactly. God is good, even though he got me sick. But whatever. I'll take it. It's like successfully failing. I failed successfully because I got sick before a tour. I didn't have to go into work, but I could still do everything I want to do. I will say though, I was pretty concerned because the symptoms that I was having are like pretty much telltale COVID symptoms, like deep cough, stuffy nose, chest congestion, like fatigue, headache, all of that stuff. And then I was like, well, this isn't good. So, but at the same time, I'm like, I haven't been around anybody that has COVID or had COVID in remotely any recent time. So I started coughing on Thursday at work, and last Thursday? Or no, last Thursday at work. And I was like, yeah, so I've got a pretty deep cough right now and a really stuffy nose. And my HR person was like, yeah, you need to go home, like now. So I went and I took a COVID test, rapid test, negative. And then like Friday came around, I was still feeling kind of under the weather. Saturday and Sunday, I was feeling really shitty. So I went again to the urgent care here in Lansing and got another rapid COVID test. And they were just like, no, you're negative. Like you're really good. Nothing's, it's just you, and they checked out, like, you probably have a viral bronchitis, but here's some antibiotics, even though they may not help, but here you go. And I was like, okay. And I just basically coughing up a storm since then. Like I just really can't stop coughing for very long. Now it's gotten a little bit better. But as you can see, I'll still cough, but I can't laugh, because if I laugh, I just start coughing left and right. I just start like, I feel like I'm like that character from fucking Roger Rabbit who they're like, you keep laughing like that, you're gonna die. That guy. You ever seen Roger Rabbit? No, just
Yeah,
that's
all right, moving on. The wooden doll shaped like a baby, right? A baby gangster.
He's like a weasel or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then just make him laugh so hard that he dies. Like, yeah, that's what I feel like. If I start laughing with bronchitis, I'm just like, and it just starts sounding like a cross between Beavis and Butthead and death.
Dude, like laughing is like a third of our show. What are you talking about? Like what?
Stop it. Stop right now. Stop it. Don't say funny stuff. Charlie. Help me. Okay. I'm surviving. You have some edibles, Span?
Did I?
Yeah.
I think I did.
You're awfully calm and wiping your eyes pretty often.
Yeah, I'm yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm moving at 0.75 speed.
Stop. Oh. All right. We're good. Oh, calm down. Oh, we got this. We can get through
Right. Okay.
this. Oh, yeah. Man, you got a big ass head, bro. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's just because my head is close to the
I don't think we're gonna be able to do the show with you high and me sick. Wusa.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying not to laugh, so now I sound like I'm crying. Why am I so sad? Oh, oh, stop laughing. I sound like I'm having a stroke because I'm trying not to choke. That rhymed?
Oh. Okay. I think I've finally ran that course. That was entirely unreasonable. Oh my God. That just,
Oh
Lord
boy.
have mercy. Anyway, so because you got bronchitis, that put us on hold. You didn't want me to get sick either, which is very kind of you, especially something so infectious. So infectious that soon after you started to come down, wifey got it.
Yeah, my wife is sick now. Yeah, I feel bad for her. But she's not as bad. Because she's taking like a lot of prenatal vitamins and stuff, so I don't think it's hitting her as bad. I just think she's just got like stuff, it's headaches. So I don't think she's gonna like actually hopefully get it, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, she her having it, of course, meant, oh, this is just an extenuation of the concerns we had for my, safety. Not like I had anything to really worry about, but that stuff is contagious. And so, and it just so happens that us having to do a podcast like this meant that, well, we'd be able to do this while you're on tour because you are about to take off with King 810, and who else?
King A10, Combi Christ, and Reign of Z.
And you leave when?
We leave Sunday.
And you're going for how long?
Till October 24th.
So that's 5 weeks. And I saw those dates. There was not a whole lot of days off. It was like,
no, yeah, we're trying to fill it up as much as possible.
Naturally. Like, how do you keep your voice conditioned where you can actually keep singing like night after night after night?
Warm up every night, man. That like, if you're a singer and you're playing shows like that back to back to back, and you're not warming up every night, you're gonna find out the hard way that you're gonna be in a serious world of hurt, because you can't just like, it's like, I mean, it's like anything else, bro. You shouldn't go to the gym and then just start lifting 250 pounds right off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like your body's got to warm up to that. You can't just get on stage and just start ripping it, every night with maybe a day off during the week. Like it's just not going to work. And then like you got to like plan for like shitty sleep because you're probably going to be sleeping in a van or somebody's floor or some shit. Like you can't, it's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea to like not warm up when you're out on the road every night. You should definitely warm up your voice. I will live by that statement. Warm up your voice every night before you play any show, be it on tour or just playing a show. Just warm up your voice.
It's so weird to think that's all it takes, like a little warm up, and all of a sudden you can blast like you do night after night after night for 5 weeks. That's just, whew.
Yeah, right.
Like you guys are going out there loaded with merch, right? Like that's gonna
Oh
be like,
yeah, yeah, man. We bought we have, so our merch company is really cool with us, and they extend credit to us. So I think this time around, since we're gonna be gone for a month, I think our bill is like 3,500, maybe $4,000. So hopefully we sell merch. You know,
man.
it's not gonna be good.
Okay, so you got all that going on. That's unfortunate about the bronchitis. But there's so many things we had discussed between you and me, like just like, oh my God, we need to talk about this. Oh my God, we need to talk about this.
Oh yeah.
And the first one has to do with Colby Covington. Colby Covington, like that thing you sent me where he was talking all about Dustin Poirier's family, calling them Louisiana swamp trash. And like, it's just, I mean, it's like, like, I think you said it, I can't remember, but you were like, you just don't mess with someone's family. If you want to talk smack about them, that's fine, it's part of the game. But if you talk about their family, like, you deserve to get your face stomped. Was that you?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Like if you're talking mad smack about somebody's family, like, yeah, no, like, not that, like, you don't talk about a man, you just listen. You don't talk about a man's wife and you don't talk about a man's kid. That's it, or a man's mom, like in a real context. Like I get it, fight sport, it's entertainment as well. I know that he's playing a villain, he's playing a heel, great, whatever. But leave that, like, that shit. No, that is like absolutely not.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Like, I don't think Dustin Poirier and they're not in the same weight class. Like, like Dustin Poirier is like a weight class beneath him. It's like, what? Like, why are you punching on someone like who you can fight and back it up against?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, Dustin Poirier, excuse me, Dustin Poirier fights lightweight. Colby Covington is like 15 pounds up in welter. And it's like, bruh, like, you guys are basically number one contender in two different divisions. Why are you going after a guy you can't have a fight with? Like, I mean, no one's gonna set that fight up, even if you're both champs. Like, I mean, I guess if you're setting up for the future and you expect you both to be champions at some point, then maybe he could talk that into a big money fight.
for
But
sure.
like, that's a lot of, like, that's equivalent to me of like hitting a bank shot where you hit the white ball off two walls to hit the other ball off two walls and then into a side pocket. It's like those things can line up. The stars, sun, and moon can all be in like one place and like align your chakras and make everything work out. But it seems like, dude, like, why don't you just focus on the fights in front of you? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a shitty thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, Why would you do anything like that? It's just a dick move, if you ask me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he can make some fights with Gilbert Burns, well, no, Leon Edwards is too dry for that. Stephen Thompson, nah, Stephen Thompson too like good boy. Jorge Masvidal. Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna do it. That's the dude you talk with. You know,
Yep. I
don't
agree.
talk. Don't talk about his family. Just say your stuff, promote your fights or whatever. Like, it's like I don't know. It just seemed like okay. In the Revolutionary War, when the British came over here, they would expect everybody to line up in squares and shoot at each other, like in those really awful advertisements for certain games that are available through the Google Play Store. And it's like the guerrilla warfare that the Americans showed took down the British because they just wore them out. They would sneak up on them all the time, and British thought that was unfair, but the Americans are like, no, we're trying to protect our land. This is the technique we have. Blah 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 blah. Like, if this is how Colby Covington wants to establish himself as like a super heel, like period, full stop. I guess this is one way to do it, but like. Yeah. Conor McGregor didn't need all that. Like, Conor McGregor was just out there being brash and winning. And now he's probably still the most bankable star in UFC.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, yeah, it's crazy how Conor McGregor still has made himself so bankable, so bankable. And speaking of Conor McGregor, did you see him in his MGK fiasco?
Oh, that's right. You sent that to me as well. I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, what happened?
They don't know what happened, but basically, like, Conor McGregor tried to fight Machine Gun Kelly, pretty much.
Like, oh my God. Like, I remember when you sent that to me, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, for real. Like, for real. Like,
something
are you
happened.
trying? But I mean, you know what? That's one thing that I'm sure Conor McGregor realized when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Even though he was outclassed in the boxing ring, he was also outclassed in the shit-talking ring. Like,
oh, yeah, sure.
Like, I mean, he talked a lot of good shots, but Mayweather had more follows on social media. He had more reach, more popularity, more infamy. Like he was better than him at being a bad guy, which made him kind of a super heel squared.
Yep. Agree. 100%. But I mean, like, why would you want to try and fight Machine Gun Kelly anyway? That guy looks like he weighs less than a bag of rice.
Machine Gun Kelly's weight wasn't in his physical volume. It was in his social clout.
No, yeah.
McGregor wants to be on that level. He's going to pick with other stars. And that's a bank shot because he by proxy hits Megan Fox. So you after him, well, you have to affect Megan Fox. And Megan Fox still look like Megan Fox. So all that commands so much more social media activity and brings more people into the ring who want to see this McGregor guy fight. And it's like, I mean, it just makes more money for him. He's still not on Floyd Mayweather's level, and he knows it. So he's got to make it up in braggadocio even more.
Of course. No, yeah, you're right. Very true. Very, very true.
So yeah, when you sent me that made me so just like, oh man, I just want I want to slap the mess out of McGregor, but there's no way I can touch him. Like, he'd dip and dodge around me, slap my belly, and call me fat and hurt my feelings, and I'd have to just cry somewhere and piss me off.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Fuck Colby Covington for being a little asshole. And then what Jose Aldo said about Khabib. Oh, dude. And I'm gonna read that. Okay. You sent me this. This is what Jose Aldo said about Khabib. He said, "What Khabib said struck me as disrespectful. I don't know why he despised my victory over Pedro Munoz. Habib says I'm done, and I don't have a chance of becoming a champion. He remembered my loss to Peter Yan. Defeats are also part of this sport. Habib would have lost sooner or later if he hadn't run away as soon as he became champion. Habib and I never had any problems. I never offered to replace Ferguson, but he declined. You were starting to realize that retirement was a mistake, and now you are trying to subtract other veterans. In 10 to 20 years, I won't regret anything because I'm fighting here and now, and Habib will ask himself, and if I kept fighting, could I be the best fighter of all time? This will eat him up on the inside. Okay.
I mean, there is a point to be made there. There is.
Yes.
I will say, Habib didn't get the belt and run. Like he defended his title like 4 times, I think.
Yes. That's 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times because it was McGregor, Gaethje, Poirier, and there was one more I thought that he fought to defend the title. But maybe I'm wrong.
I'm looking him up now. See, Habib, in his MMA record, he won it against Al Iaquinta, and he defended 3 times against Conor, Dustin McGregor, and Gaethje.
Okay, 3 times.
So he won it, and then he defended it 3 times.
There you go. Yes, I mean he didn't cut and run. I mean it was just like there was nobody else at the top. The 3 top guys he beat the shit out of in his division, and it wasn't like none of those fights with Habib were remotely close, like at all. Like every round that was happening before he choked them out or just wrestled them to death. Like he was winning every single time. Like it wasn't even a question. Like it wasn't like you were like, oh well, I think maybe Gaethje won that round. I was like, nah, bro. Like he dominated the entire time, every step of the way. So I will say that I feel like Habib it isn't really missing much because still the top guys in that division are Poirier, Moreno, and I think Chavez is the other guy. I can't remember what that because they just announced the fight, the run it again fight with Moreno and the dude he beat, and I forget that guy's name.
Davison Figueiredo.
Figueiredo, yeah. So like it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, listen, Brandon Moreno stood no chance at beating Habib if that was the case, like at all. Like he's a good fighter, obviously. He's like this was the best possible outcome for a guy like Brandon Moreno, for example. Because if you have the alpha dog, Habib, at the top of the list, he beat the other top guys. He beat the hardest hitting guy in that division, Gaethje, and he embarrassed him. Embarrassed him to the point where he was like, I didn't hurt him as bad as I could have because his parents were there. All right. Can you imagine taking that beating and then you hear, oh, no, I didn't beat him up enough. That was just me going light. Be like, damn, bro, like this giant ass knot on my head and these 5 broken ribs beg to differ. But all right. What were you going to do when you were really fighting me? Throw me in a fucking meat grinder? What are we going to do in that case? Like
that has to be one of the most terrifying realizations to know that like you just went into a fight with a guy who you previously were not intimidated by and couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Not like it's like you have spent your entire career, like the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years, building yourself up in this division, like taking out everyone you have ever fought, like always getting your piece, building a skill, redeveloping this, reworking that, perfecting this, and then you get in a fight with this dude and he just outclasses you in every way.
Yeah, straight up.
It's
Straight
like
up.
you hit your serve at 130 miles per hour and he shoves it right back down your throat. It's like he hits a serve at 170. You don't even see it. You just stand there with your tennis racket. 15, 30, 40, game. Like, it's not even fair, man. And that's what Khabib did to those three dudes. And that's what's funny. He was getting better as he kept going along. Like, you look at his record of wins, man. His last three wins were submission, neck crank, submission, rear naked choke, and submission, triangle choke. It's like before that, he had 2 decisions. Then he did a dude on with the Kimura, a TKO with punches, then 3 more submissions. Like, it's so weird. There was all these dudes that he beat the heck out of, and it went to like decision. I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, he'd just be destroying so many of these poor gentlemen in this game. It's making them look ridiculous.
100%. 100%. I am with you.
But what I don't understand in all of this is, if Khabib's out of the game, why is he talking about Jose Aldo?
Because, yeah, I think it does make sense, because Khabib now has his own fighting promotion company, you know? So, and he's coaching. So as a coach, you can speak on those things, you know? I think so, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, you know, like, at the end of the day, what Jose said does hold weight for sure, because I think everybody could agree that they would have loved to see what Khabib could have done. But at the same time, everybody has to agree there was nobody in that division that was ever going to beat Khabib. No one. The 3 best guys all failed, and they failed by a long shot. None of them came close. None of them hurt Khabib. The guy in every fight looked like he hadn't been touched. The other guys looked like they got thrown down the side of a mountain and fed to a cougar, and then had a raccoon try and patch them up. You know? Like, they came out of there, like, just pretty much, like, looking like they just barely survived a lion attack, you know?
Yeah. Like, I still remember the neck crank that Khabib had on Conor McGregor. And I will maintain, when you look close, he wasn't trying to crank his neck. He was trying to pull dude's jaw through his own head. Yeah. Because if he wanted to crank, all he had to do was put about 20 pounds this way, which he could easily do with all the leverage he had, and poor Conor McGregor would have been licking his own left sideburn. But he didn't do that. He was literally trying to crush his head in between his neck and shoulder. I was like, this looks like a murder. Like, this is like an attempted murder. Like, the ref saved a life that night.
Agreed. 100%. 100%, man. Yeah, like, it just, so yeah, I mean, right now there's nobody in that division that is really mesmerizing anybody besides Dustin Poirier. He really is the cream of the crop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He really is, but he's smart. And Dustin Poirier has learned a thing or two in the fight game from guys like Conor McGregor. Just like Sugar Sean O'Malley is learning. Fuck the belt, give me the money.
Man, you know, you brought. Go ahead.
Nobody cares about that belt. Realistically,
yeah.
The fans have proven time and time again that the belt does not matter at all.
No, that's the okay. Okay, hold up. Have the fans proven that the belts don't matter in all fight sports, or just because?
No. In the UFC.
Okay.
No, belts. So, and that's the weird part. Belts still matter in boxing because there's this, you know, this theme we always keep coming back to: authenticity, right? But the belts in a sport like UFC or in wrestling don't necessarily matter. It's the people that are the most exciting and giving the most performance that people care about, whether they're fighting for a belt or not. And again, I have to defer to Nick and Nate Diaz. Motherfuckers, I never won a belt. You know, ain't nobody cares. Nick Diaz is like number 13, and he's about to fight, and he's like selling out arenas still, man. You know?
Yeah, I want to see his fights. Like I don't he the first time I saw him do the double bird to an opponent that he went, I think he went on to like win by split decision or something close or something. And I was just like, I like watching this guy fight. Like I
Yeah,
just like
he's exciting.
yes.
He's exciting. You
Yes.
know, boxing. The thing is that more often than not, the most exciting guys are actually the champ, and that's the difference. Where here in the UFC, the most, and even in something like a sport like wrestling, which is entertainment and actual fighting as well, the most exciting guy is the guy that really matters. Enter Conor McGregor. But like a lot of the times, you don't. That's the beauty of a guy like Conor McGregor. For a very long time, Conor McGregor could walk the walk, talk the talk, and put out the performance. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget. Let's not forget. Conor McGregor held belts in 2 weight divisions, and he made it look easy. He made it look easy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, regardless of where Conor McGregor is now, the guy's no slouch. The guy had 2 belts in 2 different divisions, and he's one of a very handful of few people in the history of fight sports to ever do that. That's not a common thing. Israel Adesanya failed at doing that.
Yeah, he did. And if you thought there was one dude who's gonna pull it off easy, it was him. And that fight, from what I understand, wasn't even close. In fact, Israel himself said, "Yeah, I was just beat that night." I was like, "Oh my god!"
And this is a guy that has George St. Pierre's seal of approval, saying he's the best of all time in his division, right?
Because he is.
And he couldn't even get 2 belts in a weight division. Conor McGregor did, and Conor McGregor made it look easy. It didn't even look like it was tough for him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's like lost 4 out of his last, 5 fights. Like if you include the boxing match, and it's kind of like, dude, like you are the best at making people care about your losses than anybody. Like the only other human being like that is Jorge Masvidal, and
Yeah,
Jorge Masvidal manages to make things compelling with people who are ranked above men who beat his behind.
bro. Jose Masvidal has had only 3 UFC fights, maybe 4, I think.
Jorge Masvidal, nah, that's not true.
Yeah, main events. I think he's only had 3 or 4. The Ben Askren paradox, which made him popular.
Really did.
The Nate Diaz BMF fight.
Dude, him and fighting in UFC since 2013.
Yes, but he's never had any main events. He's never been the main card until the Ben Askren fight.
No, Benson Henderson.
Henderson.
Where he lost. That was in 2015.
4. Yeah, so that's 4. Benson Henderson, Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
Right? Those are his only 4 main. Let's be honest, there's a shitload of guys on the UFC fight roster. Nobody gives a fuck unless they're like in the main events. No one cares. Or they have like a spectacular knockout, and then like Dana White, it's just like, hey, I'll bring your cock over here real quick. Let me suck on that for a second. Like, which flavor would you like, cherry or vanilla? Like, so yeah, but he's another great example of the belt necessarily doesn't matter. It's who's fighting for the belt. Kamaru Usman, Jose Masvidal, that's a fucking exciting fight. I wouldn't give a shit if there was a belt there or not. I'd watch that fucking fight no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, Nate Diaz, Jose Masvidal, fuck yeah, take my money. I'll watch that fight all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shit. If I don't know if they're in the same weight division because I can't remember, but put Chandler and Masvidal. I'll fucking watch that fight. You know,
Yeah. I
I'll
mean, I
watch
think
both those dingleberries try and beat each other up. Them and their fucking potato views.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, we can talk about this forever, but we got to go on to the last one we're going to talk about, Colby Covington. And not Colby, I'm sorry, not Colby Covington.
Hey, bro, that edible is just like rummaging your head right now.
That Sean O'Malley. Fool, let me do let me do the damn thing. Anyway, Sean O'Malley, he was asked, okay, there's a transgender fighter from male to female named Alana McLaughlin, and in her MMA debut, MMM debut.
Bro, struggle bus Charlie over here.
MMA debut, McLaughlin is a transgender fighter, and she beat Celine Provost. And I don't know what the like whether she beat the pants off her, whether it's a decision or not. I don't know. But Sean O'Malley stepped in on his YouTube show, and he says, "I don't think that's okay. I just don't think that's okay." And just competing in sports, I mean, especially mixed, it's like she had testosterone for who knows, 20, 30 years of her life. Now I'm a girl, and look at that. You can tell that's a dude, a jacked girl. I mean, look at those arms. You want to go first or shall I?
Yeah, I'll go first, straight up. I think this is something that we really need to talk about in general in society to figure out. Let's just let's cut the mustard, right? Like, this is a tough subject because no matter how we want to be inclusive and start moving towards a more inclusive society, we also have to follow science and have to follow logic and what we can and can't prove in reality, right? I totally respect transgender people. We 100% deserve to have all the rights that anybody else does. Whatever, I'm all for that. But we cannot deny, just in general, I know that sex and gender are two completely different things. I understand that. But you cannot deny that a male will always be a male in the sense of the physical form of the mechanics of anatomy, right? We are just inherently born with more testosterone, with bulkier muscle structure, bone structure, because through genetics, through evolution, through hunting and gathering, we were the idiots that you would send to go and get killed to try and get food. And our bodies developed to take a thrashing like that. Women give birth, they do a lot of other different things. So their bodies are built differently to handle different things because they're way smarter than men anyway, you know? So if you want to, if we're gonna allow this and make progress in this, we have to have these conversations. And I'm of the belief that transgender people should have their own category in any sport that they want. That's fine. But it is not fair to put a genetically born male with a genetically born female. There is an inherent advantage, no matter how many, it's been proven, no matter how many hormones you take to lower the testosterone levels, your body is still built genetically tougher and more muscular in all that aspect. You as a man, a genetic man, build muscle faster than women. Women build lean muscle faster than men. Men build muscle much faster than women and depend on that muscle, because we're just men. Women are different, And that's science. That's not some like sexist shit. That's not some, you know, anti-gay, anti-anything. That's just science. We all scientists agree. Men, born men, always have a genetic advantage when it comes to muscle structure and agility. They just do. It just is what it is, period. So when you put a genetic man against a genetic female who's now transgender and is, yes, they're doing the testosterone therapy, all that stuff, the chances of them winning are just higher by logic in general, just by pure genetics. So I'm of the belief the way to solve this is to give them their own category, like give them their own place within sports in general. You know, we're already separating men and women in sports anyway. Women's basketball, men's baseball, women's volleyball, men's volleyball. You know, like we're already doing this anyway. So what's the problem with just adding transgender baseball, transgender football, whatever? Like who gives a shit? You know, like it's just being more inclusive, but it's it's a more fair way to be inclusive, you know?
But there's not enough transgender fighters out there to make like one full division. They don't, even if it's just like the open weight division, there's not enough for that.
I understand that. It's one of the, there's no easy answer for this because everyone's going to get pissed off in some way. No one's going to be happy here in this argument. And this debate, transgender and gay people sure as shit aren't going to be happy. You know, super right-wing fucking sexist dickwads aren't going to be happy. You know, people extreme left aren't going to be happy. Centrist, no one's going to be happy because you can't make everybody happy in this situation. This is one of those, we have to figure it out as we go along. Just what it is. And we've done that in human history time and time and time again. You know?
Well, here's my question. And this is the thing that, okay, I have heard no definitive standard of diminished testosterone therapy is required to be legally considered the transgender. Like, let's say a typical woman runs around at like 0.5 testosterone and a typical man runs around at 2.0 testosterone. And like a man decides that he feels that he must be a woman, but he wants to participate in mixed martial arts. Well, at what point is he a genetic female? And how have we established that? Like, if you take diminished testosterone therapy, right? And your testosterone goes down from a 2.0 to a 1.5 to a 1.2, at what point is it like, they're like, you're just female enough for us to allow you to fight? And like, I have heard no discussions of this anywhere. I have read no discussions of this anywhere. It's just these random rogue promotions are making these fights, and I don't want to call them freak show fights, but they for damn sure aren't given the full like scientific skepticism, I think, before they made them. I think the person who put these fights together did so purely for the spectacle, not for the fact that either one of the fighters wanted to get in the ring. So we're still dealing with not having a standard by which like a transgender is considered fully legally transgendered, so that then we can allow them to participate in combat sports. Like literally, there's no standard for that. None legally that I've ever heard of or heard discussed. It's just like some fight promotions are just like, yo, you want to fight? Yo, you want to fight? Well, I mean, you was a man, but now you weigh this. Let's go make me some money. It's like, we can't, like, no one has like sued a promotion over this to like ask a question. Like, I mean, as too happy as this country is, I'd have figured somebody would have been like, how can I get some money out of this situation? I don't know. It just makes no sense to me how we have proceeded. And as it pertains to the fights themselves, like I literally I don't know what to make of them. Like I'm assuming the woman who got into that fight with the transgender male or transgender female knew the circumstances and took the fight anyway. And I mean, you can always say she made her bed and now she must lie in it as she eats a loss from someone who may have had a genetic advantage over her, but it's just like everything about it makes me uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
mainly because there's no standard for any of this.
Yeah.
We're just literally putting pieces we're putting pieces on a chalkboard to fit a puzzle that we can't see, touch, taste, or feel, and just kind of groping in the dark, hoping that we're gonna put something together that will make everybody happy, where everything going about this is designed to make people miserable.
Yeah, yeah. I would 100% agree. 100% agree. There really is no standard right now. It's just kind of like it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a tough pill to swallow. It really, really is. It really is.
Wow. Okay. So we have had a lovely discussion, but I'm tired as hell. So
Correction. You're high as hell.
no, I can be both, bruh. I can be both.
That's right, bitch. Give me that money. Ow. You already know who the real boss is here.
So we're gonna do this again Sunday.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Okay, I'm not going to edit anything. Once I stop recording, this is going to make an MP4 file. I'm gonna upload the MP4 to the YouTube, and then I'm gonna take the MP3 and I'm gonna turn that into a podcast, and it's going up just as is. Because
that's the beauty of the 21st century, my man.
Right though. All right, man. We'll do this again Sunday, bro.
All right, brother. See you then.